What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of King Print, where I cover all things screen printing. Now in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is the difference between water-based ink and Plastisol ink. Let's get right into it. Now let's start from the beginning. Plastisol ink is a plastic-based ink which is a standard in all high production shops. Water-based ink is in the name. It's a water-based ink mostly used by hobbyists and smaller shops printing smaller runs and printers that have a high value on print softness. Now what I have here is a quart of Triangle Ink Phoenix White ink and an 8-ounce Speedball White water-based ink. Now let's talk price. Price point on these two inks are going to be very comparable, running from $20 to $30 per quart depending on brand of ink. Another common question is which is safer. If you're working in a small enclosed area, hands down, water-based is safer. When working with Plastisol ink, you should have good ventilation, and a respirator is always a good idea. Now Plastisol inks have a longer shelf life than water-based inks. All my inks here are Plastisol inks, and I've had a lot of them open for 6 months to a year and they're still fully usable. Now on the flip side, as soon as you break the seal on the water-based ink, it's a countdown to the ink drying up. Now let's look at how each ink actually holds up in print. Now what I'm going to be doing here is printing 2 prints of each color. I have 2 pink shirts and 2 black shirts. Now first, let's start with Plastisol ink. First is going to be a single pass flash. The second is going to be 2 passes of white. So it's white, flash, white. This is gonna be single pass. So I'm gonna give it a pass and flash. Now the second print is gonna be pass, flash, pass. I'll leave a link in the description so you can compare both these inks for yourself, along with other screen print supplies on sale right now from Amazon. Now we're gonna go with the black shirt. And the first print is 1 pass, single pass of white and a flash. This is gonna be the second print, white, flash, white. I got my screen all cleaned up, got my squeegee all cleaned up. Now let's go with the water-based ink. Now you see the air seal on top of the water-based ink. Plastisol ink doesn't have that because it doesn't need it. As soon as that air starts hitting the water-based ink, it's gonna start to dry. So you gotta work with this pretty fast. We're gonna start with the pink shirt, and this is gonna be 1 pass. Now this is tricky. It's recommended that after you give it your pass, you have to let it air dry. So you're gonna set it off to the side. I usually don't do this step, but it's recommended that you let it air dry, and it's gonna take anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes to air dry before you cure it. But whenever I'm working with water-based ink, I usually skip this step, but this is recommended. Now this is gonna be the second shirt, which is gonna be white, flash, white. Go ahead and flash. Bring it back. Second pass. As you can see there, the ink is starting to set in and dry in the stencil a little bit. You can see down to the left corner. Now we're going to go with the black shirt, single pass. Again, the ink is starting to stick to the stencil a little bit and starting to kind of lift the shirt up. And this is going to be white flash white, which is 2 passes, which is a white underbase. It's getting harder as I print to work with the shirt. As you can see there, it lifted a little bit, and that is 1 pass. So I'm going to come back with that second pass. And I really got to throw that ink through the stencil because it's kind of sticking. You can see there. And the shirt's moving a little bit because the ink is sticking to the stencil and it's sticking to the shirt, and it's lifting it up a little bit. So what I noticed here is the ink starting to dry onto the stencil itself. So I wanted to do a third print to show you how it dried onto the stencil. And this is all within 5 minutes. Look at that. It just dried up right there and dried up on the opposite side. And this is 5 prints. This is 5 prints in. Look at that, it just really started to stick and it's not gonna clear. Little corner spot there. Now I wanted to show you what letting the ink sit for 10 minutes does. Really pressing down, and the ink didn't clear at all. All the ink dried in the stencil. Not only is it not clearing, but it's sticking to the shirt and lifting it. So there's no way I'd be able to get a second pass on there if I was doing an actual run. And keep in mind, this is just 10 minutes of sitting ink. It's all dry in the screen. Now this ink on the squeegee, if it's not used, you can't put it back into your jar because it's gonna dry up along with all your other ink. So you're gonna have to chunk this ink, you're gonna have to throw it away. So that's a lot of wasted ink. Now let's take a look at the final product. This is a single color print. The one on the left is a water-based ink and the one on the right is a Plastisol ink. You can clearly tell the difference there. The one on the right is a lot more vibrant than the one on the left. And this is just a single pass. So it's a pass and a flash. This is gonna be 2 passes. So it's white, flash, white. The one on the right is Plastisol, the one on the left is water-based. These two look similar, but the one on the right you can tell is a little bit more vibrant, and that's the Plastisol. Now this is a black print. This is a single color print. The one on the right is Plastisol, the one on the left is water-based. Again, these look kind of similar, but the one on the right is going to be a little bit more vibrant than the one on the left, which is water-based. Now this is a two-pass print. The one on the right, Plastisol, the one on the left, water-based. Now you can really tell the difference in this print once you get up close. The Plastisol ink, you can't see any of the fibers or the shirt coming through. The one on the left, you can see the shirt kind of bleeding through the ink. So that's my review on water-based versus Plastisol. I hope this helped you out. Don't forget to check out my channel. And if you did find this helpful, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out all my other screen print videos. Click the link in my description for screen print supplies on sale right now from Amazon, and check you on the next one.